Thanks indeed, Mark. Now, after cystic fibrosis, emphysema is the most common fatal inherited lung condition in this country, and in its most severe form is estimated to affect more than 2,000 people nationally. The less severe form affects as many as 300,000 individuals across the nation. But new research is helping us understand and treat the condition. And joining us to discuss this is Professor Gerry McElvaney from the Royal College of Surgeons and also from Beaumont Hospital, and emphysema patient Josephine McGuirk. You're very welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. Professor, if I could start with you, maybe just explain what emphysema is.
Yeah, well, emphysema is a lung disease classically associated with cigarette smoking. But not all smokers get emphysema. We'd reckon about 20% of smokers get emphysema.
Why?
So, yeah, because there is a hereditary element to it. Some people are predisposed towards getting emphysema. And we've done a lot of work in a particular hereditary form of emphysema called Alpha-1. It's quite common in this country. At least 2,000 people have a severe form of Alpha-1, and about 300,000 have a lesser form. Now, Alpha-1 is a hereditary disorder. You get it from your parents. If you get the Alpha-1 abnormal gene from both parents, you get a severe deficiency of the protein. And this protein is important to protect the lung. If you get the bad gene, the abnormal gene from one parent, you get a lesser form of deficiency, but it still can predispose you towards emphysema if you smoke.
And there's nothing can be done about that?
Well, there are actually. We have two modes of attack, really. Number one, Ireland is the only country in the world with a targeted detection programme to pick up early forms of emphysema and to pick up alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. So we are the only country in the world that actually looks aggressively for this. And secondly, there's a treatment for Alpha-1 which is at present experimental, but which I think carries some great hope for the future. It is particularly for the severe form of Alpha-1 deficiency, and Josephine might talk about it later, but we are doing the early studies in Beaumont Hospital. We have over 25 patients on the experimental therapy, and the data looks interesting. We can't say too much more about that at the moment, but certainly it's encouraging. It's an intravenous therapy, and we're thinking of moving forward to an aerosol therapy fairly shortly.
So are there people going about their business who have coughs continuously who aren't aware of the fact that they might have the mild version of emphysema?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And do we know how many?
Well, we'd reckon at the very least there's about 200,000 people in this country with emphysema, and that's an underestimate probably.
Yeah, because when you think of emphysema, you think of somebody going around with a bottle of oxygen. That's at its worst, I assume.
Yeah, exactly.
But obviously this much milder version then, how does it manifest itself? Is it purely in coughing or phlegm or...?
No, coughing and phlegm are certainly cardinal symptoms, but probably the symptom that is most distressing is shortness of breath and exertion. People realise that they're not able to do as much as they could in the past. They now find it more difficult to walk up hills or to talk and walk at the same time. And slowly but surely it gets worse and worse.
So if you go and get yourself checked out now, if you suspect you have that, there are some things that can be done to improve your overall health.
Absolutely. And the key things are, number one, stop smoking. That is the key thing.
Which is a very hard thing to do in some cases.
Extremely difficult, extremely. But we are getting a better handle on how to stop smoking now. Vaccinations are important. And then if you have the severe form of Alpha-1, there is this new therapy that's experimental at the moment, but which may become available fairly shortly.
All right, and Josephine, you went through one of these experimental therapies for a while, didn't you? Tell us your story first.
I did.
Were you a big smoker?
First of all, I was, yeah. I was diagnosed with Alpha-1 7 years ago. And it's hereditary, so some of my family have the same condition, but haven't got any symptoms, if you understand. They haven't got emphysema. I got emphysema. I used to smoke. I smoked actually for over 38 years, 25 to 30. But as soon as I was diagnosed with emphysema, I gave them up.
How was it difficult to give up?
Not when I knew that I had to.
You said my health comes first, so...
Yeah, I had hypnotherapy.
Okay,
little bit of help. Yeah.
All right.
But after I gave it up, I decided that I'd have to do something else, so for a better quality of life. So I lived in a 2-storey house in Dublin. So I moved down to, well, at 58 years of age, it was a big move.
It's a big move.
About 6 years ago, down to Bettystown beside the beach.
Cleaner air.
Yeah, cleaner air. And I had a better quality of life when I moved there as well.
Excellent stuff. So it worked for you, the treatment?
Well, about 5 years ago, I wasn't on the treatment then.
Right.
About 5 years ago, I was asked to go on the trial, which I didn't hesitate at all. And because if it didn't help me, it would help somebody else. And I was 2 years on, it was placebo stroke. So I didn't know which one. And to this day, I don't know which. But then there was an extended 3 years. I'm 5 years altogether. So I'm on the real stuff now.
And your better quality of life?
Much better quality of life. And yes, I walk on the beach all the time. And
lovely.
and I feel great. I'm a very positive person anyway.
Oh, I think
so that's an awful lot to do with
That's
it.
a huge plus,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
What about people who come in for treatment but still continue to smoke? I mean, is it pointless treating them, or do you have to?
Unfortunately, with the Alpha-1 therapy, smoking inactivates the therapy, so it is almost pointless to treat them with the Alpha-1 therapy in that circumstance. It still is worthwhile for them to get vaccinations and things like that.
As in vaccination for flu and things like that?
For flu and pneumonia, yeah. But the actual Alpha-1 therapy, specifically for that particular form of emphysema, will not work if you continue to smoke.
All right, so it's fantastic that there's positive news. Keep up the good work in Beaumont Hospital, a wonderful, wonderful place. It's like a separate city, not like the Vatican, with all the bits and pieces and add-ons that it has.
Well, since I went on this therapy, I have less chest infections.
Fantastic.
Than I had before.
So you're feeling the benefits all right.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
So would you recommend then, Doctor, for somebody who feels that they might have this, they should just go to their local GP and get checked out?
Well, there are a number of ways you can do it. In Beaumont Hospital, we have this targeted detection program where we'll provide free diagnostics. So we will, if your doctor or your consultant sends a blood sample to us, or even sends a request to us.
Excellent.
We will send out the kit, we get a blood sample taken, we'll do the testing and do it free gratis and send you the results, and organise an appointment with us as soon as possible.
All right, thanks very much. Great to hear some positive stuff coming out of the HSC. That's absolutely brilliant. Now, we're getting ready for the races in the TV3.